Hi, Vi. Thank you for chatting with us today.
Thank you for having me.
And congratulations on the release of your new single, Dead to You. I have been listening to it pretty much nonstop since it came out.
Thank you. Thanks.
How has the response been so far to the new song?
It's been like really, really, really good. I was kind of nervous about releasing kind of like a more pop punk type song. I just because it's kind of out of my wheelhouse. Like I love pop punk music, but like I've never really produced any before. So it was no really good response, and I'm really happy that people are loving it, and I love the song so much. So it feels really good that my listeners love it too, and my friends and family. Sorry, my dog.
Dogs are always welcome. This is fine. Yeah, it's definitely very different from your past releases, but like it still has enough of the elements that make it you that you can still tell it's you. But I really do like this new direction. Was there something specific that inspired you to kind of take this different turn on this song?
I think it was just the producer I started to work with. His name is Created by Adam. I'm so sorry. A little mouse running around. Yeah, his name's Adam, and he is definitely like heavily influenced by like Blink 182, like early 2000s pop punk music. And the song didn't start out like that at all. It was kind of more of like I wrote it to like a slower trap kind of beat, and then I brought it to him, and then it kind of just evolved into that, and he put his own flair on it, and then it kind of just turned into a pop punk track, which I'm honestly super pumped about. I didn't expect it to go that direction and have that much power behind it, but yeah, I love it. It was really refreshing for me to create something new.
I feel like that style of song really fits with the message of the song as well. Like it's a good energy for kind of getting that feeling out. Something I was curious about was when you write a track like this, I feel like this is like kind of the most exciting part of a breakup is when you get to that point and you're like, it's over, fuck it, like I'm out. But do you write songs like that when you're kind of still processing it and still in the moment, or is it more of like a reflection looking back on something that's happened before?
Well, with this song specifically, it was more of like a reflection, like looking back. But honestly, a lot of my songs are both. Like if I'm going through something, I'll start writing, or sometimes I'll need some inspiration, or like something from the past has been on my mind and I just need to like talk about it or just kind of put it into a song. So it's like a little bit of both. I feel like with songwriting, or for me personally, it's never like black and white. It's always very much case by case scenario, I guess, if that makes sense.
Total sense.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're a songwriter, I feel like every song is going to be a little bit different in terms of how you approach it. Especially when you're kind of changing your sound and stuff too. Has anything else changed in your process? I guess you have kind of a newer sound. You're working with a new producer. Is there anything else that's kind of changed? Because I think, were you also on hiatus for a little bit? Kind of like a hiatus?
Yeah, like we like to call it a hiatus, but it was kind of more of like a mental break for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just really wanted to focus on making the music again and not getting so wrapped up in the antics behind it, because I don't know, I have pretty bad anxiety sometimes, so I was starting to not enjoy making music anymore, just because I just kept thinking about like, oh well, it was like I was writing for other people and like not for myself kind of thing. Like I was writing for the purpose of like releasing music, when I first started writing music, it was more of like a therapeutic process, and I was writing for myself, and just because I loved it so much. And I feel like I needed to take a step back to find that love again, because I feel like, it's also overwhelming, and I didn't expect that many people to listen to my music when I first started putting it out. So it kind of puts, it just felt like a lot of pressure. Like no one was putting pressure on me but myself, but like I felt pressure, and it was like not a healthy place for me to be. So I just, decided to just take a break and like write and just not worry about all of the outside dealings and just work on the inside feelings,
Nice. I like that. Have you changed anything in your approach to how you do things in order to kind of make it better for you as like a sustainable way of working?
I think honestly, I try not to force it anymore. Like if I force, I don't know, I'm just like, I'm not the type of songwriter that can just like pump out songs like willy-nilly all the time. Like it usually needs to like come from somewhere. And they're just, I don't know. I don't know. I think I just, like I said, I just started like putting less pressure on myself and just kind of letting it come to me. Because when I first started writing music, I was like going through a lot. So it was like writing a lot. And like, I felt like I had so much I had to say, so much I had to get out. And like now I feel like I'm in a better place with myself. So I'll like write about that when I feel inspiration. But I don't know. I think I try to put less pressure on myself when it comes to actually creating. So I just kind of let inspiration come to me when it does.
I think that ends up absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. And I feel like that gives you the best result anyways, because I don't know. I feel like anything you're doing because you're forced or you're rushed is never going to be your best work, because that's never the best conditions, especially for creative work. You have to kind of like nurture your mind as well before you can actually bring something to life like that.
Yeah, so. Big time. And it's also too, like, I'm a firm believer in quality over quantity as well. But like in an industry like this, it really is all about being consistent and like pumping out as much product as possible. So that's also like something that goes through my mind when I'm creating. I'm like, well, like I need more content. I need this, but I just try to, like I said, I am making music for other people and like for my listeners, but at the end of the day, like I'm doing it because it's my outlet. It's like how I express myself.
Yeah. And I mean, I think something else interesting about your journey is that a lot of artists right now are either relying a lot on social media to find their audience, or they're having something break on social media and then suddenly they're taken to this new level of having this huge audience. Yeah. But you had a really cool time of starting on the launch and kind of having a more old school social way of reaching new people. And I think that's also such a cool platform because you have like some really interesting industry people there and an audience built in that enjoys the show. Like it's a very interesting way of reaching people as an emerging artist. How was that from your perspective as somebody who was actually on the show and doing that?
I genuinely never thought that I would be on like a reality TV show. Like that was never really something that I like wanted or thought that I would do. But then when an opportunity knocked, I was like, you know what? Like, I'm just going to say yes, because I just don't know what doors this is going to open up for me. And it was a really weird, bizarre, like almost out of body experience. Like it's so much is happening all at once. You need to be at so many different places all at once and like do all these different things. And it really pushed me out of my comfort zone. And it taught me a lot. And I met a lot of really cool artists, a lot of cool industry people. I met my manager from the launch. So that is something that I'm most grateful for, is for meeting Haley off of the launch. But yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world. It was such a eye-opening experience. And it was nice too, because I had started releasing my music before and I had a little bit of traction with my music before that. And then the launch came around and kind of just gave me a little bit more of like a push, especially in the Canadian market. So I was really, really grateful for that experience. It was once in a lifetime opportunity, and I'm glad I took it.
It's also nice to see those things happening in Canada, because too often I feel like everybody's like, oh, you have to go to the States to do things. Like if it's in Canada, it's like just Canada, but Canada's huge. And like our music industry, our creative industries are full of amazing things. And it's like, there's so much here to celebrate. And I love seeing like these opportunities show up for Canadians.
Yeah, like literally there's so, especially in Hollywood, like half of us are Canadian. Like when I was in LA in October, I was working with my producers. They're called Chapters, is like their group, and they work with so many Canadians. Like there's just Canadians everywhere. We rule the world almost when it comes to like music. Obviously not completely, but there's a lot of us, and I think Canada should be like celebrated more for that.
Absolutely. I personally have not been on television or worked in a television show. Do they give you any sort of like foundation for the industry, like when they're giving you this platform, but do they teach you anything about kind of things you should know, or like any sort of industry info that kind of helps you build that foundation as an artist to make the best decisions for yourself?
I don't honestly, like, I don't know if I could remember learning anything like that on the TV show. I think it was more just about like getting the song recorded and then learning how to perform it and then just performing it. I think mostly, or I don't know, honestly too, it was like 3 years ago and my memory is so bad.
The last 2 years feel like 10 years, so I can't remember anything anymore either. I don't blame you.
And it's like, it's felt like 10 years, but it's also felt like a blur at the same time. And like it happened so quickly. Like 2 years ago, man, I was 23 going into this pandemic. I'm in my mid-20s now.
Yeah, I turn 30 next month.
Oh my God, brutal.
And I'm like, my 20s, they're gone.
Goodbye. Corona took it.
God. Yeah, it's definitely a wild time that we've been through. But yeah. Oh, there was something else I was gonna say, but it might come back to me in a second. No, this happens to me a lot. I mean, right at this moment, you're an independent artist, you're releasing everything. You have Haley, you have members of your team around you, have like a publicist and things like that. But you are still independent. I'm sure there's a lot of things that you and your team do for yourselves that somebody else might have like a label or somebody doing. What does a usual day in the life look like for you as an independent artist?
I mean, a lot of messages back and forth with from me and Haley, kind of just more. But right now we're also starting to work with this girl called Arena. She's doing our marketing and helping us with our marketing strategy. Sorry, tongue twister. Strategies. Because I feel like with social media, I definitely I don't try to stray away from it, but it like gives me anxiety. Like, it's just such a huge beast, and like putting yourself out there like that, I know I've been doing it for 4 years, but I feel like as I get older, like I am more like cynical towards social media. So that's something that I, on a daily basis, am trying to work towards being more comfortable with and like putting myself out there more. So just like, also a lot of days are just super normal. I feel like honestly, a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, Haley does so much for me. Like, I am so blessed to have that woman. Like, she does all of the things that I don't know how to do and I also don't want to do. So she really takes a huge weight off of my shoulders. But in music related stuff, I edit like all of my cover art. I usually Photoshop that stuff. So I'll edit content sometimes, or I'll try and like write if I can, see if I feel anything. Or sometimes I just like give my brain a rest and I just chill with my dog at home.
That's an important part of the process too.
Yeah, my boyfriend and I have been playing Halo like a lot. So that's like also part of my day.
That's important. When my boyfriend's around, we play Fortnite.
Nice.
But it's like only when he's here. Otherwise, I don't turn that part of my brain on for some reason. But
oh my God, yeah, I try not to. Like, he's not home right now. Like, I'm really gonna try and make sure that the rest of my day isn't spent on Xbox.
I feel you. Well, I mean, you also have your debut album coming out in 1 month today, which is so exciting. So I feel like there's also going to be a lot of stuff to do just leading up to, I mean, the excitement of that, and hopefully getting to celebrate it a little bit since restrictions will be lifting here.
Yeah. Sorry.
Are you in Toronto?
Yes.
Okay. All of a sudden I was like, wait, maybe restrictions are fine where you are. I don't know.
No. Yeah, I'm in Toronto. And then my hometown is Ottawa. So like shit's been popping off there. So
yes, it has.
Yeah.
But what can we expect from the album? Is there anything you can say without giving away too much?
I mean, like, what do you want to know? Like specifically?
Well, one thing is it following more of the sound of Dead to You, or was Dead to You more of kind of like an anomaly in the writing process?
Yeah.
Or the producing process?
Yeah, Dead to You is definitely like a one-off. And we made Dead to You like a few months ago. We finished it, and like a lot of the songs that are on this album, I started writing like, I got the main idea for Afterlife like, maybe like 6 years ago or something.
Wow.
And I started writing like the concept to Afterlife. Like there's a title track, and I wrote that like 6 years ago. So this has like been a long time in the works. So I feel like a lot of the tracks on this album are very like classic, like vibe, you know, like kind of more like bad bitch, dark, spooky, you know, and then Dead to You is like the random like pop punk version. But like honestly, like, you know what, throw it in there. I don't even care. Like if it doesn't like, nothing needs to always make sense, you know?
No.
So yeah,
I think especially now that we're in this like streaming age, whether that's a good or a bad thing, I mean, you have such an opportunity to kind of create a bunch of stuff on one album, and maybe it just ends up on different playlists and different types of people find it and end up loving your music because they found you through the right song.
Yeah. So. And the thing is too, is just, I like the idea of just like doing different things and not staying stagnant and doing the same thing all the time, because like that just gets boring, you know? Like even my music after this, because obviously I have a big catalog that I'm sitting on, and we're planning on like different rollouts. Like Afterlife is kind of like my dark, spooky, like I said, and then the project afterwards is going to be lighter, more like self-reflective, like stuff like that. So I feel like I don't even know what my point was anymore.
Just keeping things interesting and not doing the same thing too much.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like just, I don't know, evolution, and also being able to like show my range as an artist is really important to me as well, because like I'm able to do so much more than just what I've done before, and I just want to show that.
Yeah, it's almost like an exercise in just like trying new things. Like with any other craft, like you just learn new skills and stuff. So writing for different genres or writing different types of songs just makes you stronger going forward. It's cool.
Exactly.
And every style you've done, it all sounds so good that like, why not excel at everything if you can? With the state of the world as it is, you know, we're still kind of like getting back to live music and like just kind of like on the precipice of a lot of things. What are the things that we can do right now as like your fans and listeners to best support you?
You can buy my merch. I got some merch. I just have 2 pieces right now. I have a short sleeve and a long sleeve. It's kind of like a metal inspired merch t-shirt. And then also just streaming my music, sharing as much as possible, spreading the word. And then just like send me messages and say hi and be like, hi, I'm listening to you. I support you and I'm sticking around kind of deal. Those are my favorite messages to receive, or the ones that are like, I love you, goodbye. I'm like, I love you too, goodbye.
I love that. That's totally doable. We could do that.
Yeah.
Perfect. Nice. Well, thank you for chatting with us. I'm so excited for the album, and wishing you the best of luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's been such a pleasure.